We are plating grace with a French-inspired, Lenten-approved meal, Tilapia Francese. When I went to France, I was so impressed with just their use of fresh ingredients, and this one is going to be something pretty common to everyone. It's tilapia, but we're gonna add some lemons, we're gonna add some butter and some cream, and even hit it with some white wine, but it all begins with an understanding of why Catholics eat fish on Fridays, and people think that it's very penitential. This is not gonna be penitential, folks. As a matter of fact, this is gonna be delicious, but why do we actually eat fish on Fridays? Well, because the word fish is a Greek acronym for Jesus Christus Huios Theos Soter. The first letters of that Greek phrase, Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior, spells the Greek word ichthus, which means fish, because guess what? We are supposed to be caught up in the nets of God's love. So we're gonna season this up real easily with some salt as well as some pepper, and then we are going to kind of put it in a little bit of an egg wash after we've dipped it in some flour. I'm gonna be making a little egg wash. So I've got a couple eggs, a couple tablespoons of water, and then I'm just simply gonna whisk this all up. So now that I've got these kind of dredged in some flour, right now I'm going to heat up my pan with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of butter to it. That butter will help to create a nice little creamy effect, and it'll also affect the smoking point as well. I've got my station set up, and this is a great lesson for Lent. I think one of the reasons why cooking and Lent and faith can become so messy is simply because we have things out of order. You just gotta follow a simple process, and that process will lead to a beautiful end result. This is something that a lot of the French mystics, like Saint Vincent de Paul and Margaret Mary Alacoque, what they did was they had their life in proper order. God first, serving others second, and then making sure you've got yourself taken care of before you start critiquing other people. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is just simply re-dip that dredged piece of fish, and so into the pan it goes. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Nice little flip. You've got yourself a beautiful kind of like crust here, and basically we're just gonna let all of these cook together on a slow, low heat, just to keep the fish moist. You'll see what I'm doing is I'm just simply basting using some of the oil and the butter to put it right on top. It'll keep it nice and moist and delicious, while at the same time crispy. And as soon as these are done, I'm gonna pull them off to the side so I can use the same pan to create a beautiful sauce, Francese style. And while this is continuing to cook, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pair this up with some pearl couscous by simply adding a little bit of butter to a pan. I'm going to kind of melt that all out, and then basically I've got some couscous that have already been pre-cooked. So into this pan, we're just going to saute some garlic. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to kind of flavor that butter out. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of my pre-cooked couscous and just add it right to the pan, give it some beautiful flavor. A couple nice little tosses to break it up. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of fresh parsley as well. Okay, I know this fish is done. I'm gonna just put it off to the side and let it rest for just a moment. And I'm gonna use this beautiful pan of flavor, and I'm gonna add to it a few other things like some butter. We're gonna hit it with a little bit more parsley, and then also some lemon. And then for a little tradition and some French cooking, we're gonna just deglaze the pan with a little bit of white wine. Season it up with a little pinch of salt and pepper. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of capers, and including their brine. Add some nice bright flavors. And then I'm gonna return the fish to it so that it picks up those extra flavors. And in just a moment, we're gonna be ready to plate and ready to eat. One of the ways that we can get more into the spirit of Lent is to make sure that we practice some of the spiritual practices, such as prayer, some fasting, and some almsgiving. And what a great way to commemorate the great saints like Margaret Mary Alacoque and St. Vincent de Paul, who did so much work with charity. Let's give to our local soup kitchens. This gives you a chance to talk with your family about the spirit and the meaning of Lent, how the country of France has influenced us greatly. We hope you enjoy this meal and more to come. Way better than fish sticks. Bon appetit.